이번 상가 그동안에 고생되어 답을
各位法友
가지고
吉祥如意。
사만하더니 다시 데렉셔이.
How you all doing? Tashidele to all the Sangha around the world, and thank you for joining us on the live stream.
大家都还好吗？谢谢全球的法友们在网上参加我们的今天的法教。
사르도 지왕이 리나디 타타 그러다 봐 가시기 내가 안 사바바 탐지기 신고요 그치 뭐지 요리다 강르들이 타타 주토 가사 가니 나와사 집에 주로 참하게 라마남비 왕만 보고 남그 요리 들이때 같이 시해준 다음에 요리 가시가 왕 찍면 쇼고 말이 전인 그 말이 대냠이 맞지를 니가 쳐보여야 돼 시에서 그래요래 됐다는 그 말이 가시가 왕 같이 톱나 쇼고 해서 그래 내가 또 나지 요래 왕 전인 그 말이 속에 왕 찍봐도 접는 그 말이 속에 강도 그 말이 되나 라 찍다 냠이 계시나 라 찍을 참가해 나 탐지 탐지 싫은데 저기 참가요래지 들이 제일 많이 듣다 랭감을 가다 나만 사소거든이 통상나 만나서 예담 나 만나서 요래 내가 왕시 봤던 거는 강내 왕 같이 톱나 쇼고래지.
And today we are receiving the
今天我们会
Vajrapani
接受
empowerment,
金刚手菩萨的灌顶。
and there might be a few newer
那
Dharma
今天
friends
或许
here,
有比
and
较
there's
多的
one
这个新的法
important
友，
thing that you should
对
understand,
于这个灌顶
and
的
that
会
is now
请
nowadays many lamas confer many
在
different
过去可
empowerments
能
in
有
various
许多不
centers
同的
around
上
the
师给予
world.
不同的灌顶。
And regarding the receiving of
有
an
关
empowerment,
收到
there
这个不
are
同的灌
basically
顶，
two different ways of
可以有
viewing
不同
that.
的方式
Some
来理
people
解
say
这个接
that
受灌顶。
it's better not to
有些人
receive
认
too
为的
many
可以不
empowerments.
要接受太多
Because
的
if
灌
you
顶。
receive an empowerment and then you
如
don't
果你
practice it
不
well,
接受灌
then
顶，
that's
你
a
没
great
有好
fault.
好的来修法，这
So
样是
that's
没有太大的
actually
过犯。
not
但
true
是这
at
是不
all.
对的
So then
见
the other
解。
view is that it's the more
事实
empowerments you
上，你
receive,
有
the better it is.
接
And
受
there's
到更
actually
多的灌
something
顶是更
meaningful
好
to
的。
that. So we can see which one we should pick, the first one or the second one.
当于这两
So
种灌
because if
顶
you
呢，你
practice
可
a
以
single
自己选
deity,
择
it's
第一
okay to
种或第
practice
二
a
种
single
灌顶。
deity. However, it is important to understand that when you practice just a single
那在灌顶
deity,
的时候有不同
all the
的本
empowerments,
尊，
all the
但
deities
是
from
你
whom you
在
have
修
received
行的时候，
empowerments
你
are
在修
actually
一个
complete.
本尊，
So
你
it's
要知
therefore
道它
sufficient
是
to
具足
practice
所有
a
的本
single
尊的。
deity and still receive empowerments. Because it is said within the expanse of
在本书
primordial
制的这
wisdom,
个
all the Buddhas are
前提
one.
下，所有的本尊
And
是合
so
为
for
一
this
的、
reason,
等同的。
we really shouldn't say at all that you
所以我
shouldn't
们不
receive
应该从这个
empowerment
观点
because
来
it's
讲，
a
我不
great
应该
fault if you
说
can't
你不应
practice
该
it.
接受这个
So
灌
there's
顶。
all kinds of different empowerments, and there's
那
different
当然，在灌顶
lineages
有许
with
多
the
不
Yidam
同的本尊、
deities
不同的
and
传
various
承、
different individuals, different
不
kinds of
同的这
practitioners
个
and gurus
法
and so
友们，
on. But whichever one it
认识
is, what is the actual meaning of the empowerment? That is
怎样的
what
传
needs to
承、
be
怎样的本
understood.
尊、怎
And
样
if
的
you
灌
really
顶，我们
understand
应
the
该了
meaning
解这
of
个灌顶
empowerment,
的意
then
义
you
何
see
在。
that actually the
如
more
果你了解
empowerment
灌
you
顶的意义
receive,
的
the
话，
better
然
it
后
is.
在这个前提之下，你能够接到更多的灌顶，事实上是更好的。
왕은 맨날 가리세요. 라마 서고 왕 나무들이 미지저 왕송을 왕송 나오면 미지저 가래 미거래지. 미지는 가래 미지. 매도가 사웅 미네 때는 요거 때는 들이 매도 카게. 매도 저걸 매도 잡사먹고 사무용 거래. 빼제리. 매도 사웅 따오도 가요 그래들은 들이 무슨 셉긴 탐지게 줄. 샘띠는 사진이 이때 사진 찾았으면 까는 넌 샘데 우리 사진이 졌어요 그랬어. 답을 뭐지 사진은 소리 저는 대식는 뭐지 대식는 뭐지 봤대 맹 약고다 하면 동물맹데 대식 가래지 샘 코한 거 내려고 들이 아기들 하고서서 대어식 봐들 사진 고막 터야 그래. 세고 내로 마도를 코와 차는 거래. 챕터 내록대 도서로 상지 찾기요래. 내록도 맞고 제발. 대 내록도 고쳐라들 민지요 왕전에 몇도 그 사원 민들이 습지 사제에서 민지요래들. 대 서와요만 남바요만 좀다 제발요만 도난 도를 쭉 참말로 사제가 뭐 셈요래. 셈요네요. 감 쪽디인지 물을 못인디 이왕가 고가리 요래 맞아. 수남 쳔보지. 물을 못 지키바들이 상하도지 뜨고 모르정들이 민지 왕가 고가비 요래. 로를 누긴다라지 고가비 요만 있잖아. 때렸다 당 왕지선 하대. 그래서 그래서 톱톱 요래지. 무슨 남들이 왕가 도나 톱톱 요만 그래서 때 물을 못 지. 죽버들이 고가리 되는 왕쇼 윤지 가래들이 민지 가래 민고 샘데 산지의 민고래지. 이렇게 마음이 샘 가래들 자고래지. 자고래지. 민부 샘 가래들 잡소래지. 오 산지 습지 이발 저런데 잡소니 제발 요래. 어때때 저런데 맞으려 줄 능해도 왜 저런 맞으려 능해 요래지. 오 습지인들 가운데 능해 요래지. 오 민소는 대화도 잡지처럼 왕 요래. 랑랑 요래 이런 핑크 요래 나고 잡아 게임을 나서 같은 적은 핑크 요래 뒤따오도 보는데 왕 같이 탐이 쇼고래 대신도 뭐 요리들이 왕가 서문대 요래 그리 왕 레이션이 서문대 첫째가 첫째서 됐다 약그 요래 빼대다 그러지 근데 왕도 서문 사람 나오는 때 쳤다 왔는지 적그 요래 대외 왕쇼고 그랬지.
So what's the reason that we have to receive
那
an
我们为什么要
empowerment?
接受灌顶呢？ 所
The
谓的灌
empowerment
顶
is
就
called
是
the
所
ripening
谓的成熟的
empowerment.
灌顶。
No matter who confers the
无论是
empowerment, the
谁
purpose
给我们
of
这
any
个灌顶，
empowerment is to mature
主要
or
是
to
要帮助我
ripen the
们的心
mind.
智能够成熟。
And that's the real meaning
这
of
就是
empowerment, the real
真
purpose
灌
of
顶真正
receiving
的
an
意义
empowerment.
跟目
So
的，
what is to be ripened
到底
or
是要成熟
matured?
什么呢？
For example, it's just like the seed
就
of
好像
a
一个花的
flower
种子
sprouting and then growing
开
into a
始发芽，
flower.
慢
And
慢的
then
长
once it
成
is a
这个
flower, from a single flower, many hundreds of more seeds then emerge.
当一朵花成熟
So
的时候，慢慢会有
the seed,
千百个种
like the
子
seed of a
成熟。
flower during an empowerment, what is that seed actually?
那这个种子
Actually,
到
all
底是什么
sentient beings possess that
事实上，
seed.
所有的众生都
The
具
Buddha
有这个
Shakyamuni
种
had
子，
said that all sentient beings are
所
actually
有的众
Buddhas.
生
So that is
本
the
众生本
potential,
是
the
佛，这
cause
是释迦牟
for
尼佛过去
Buddhahood.
所说的。
Gampopa
当
said
时
in the Jewel
在
Ornament
这
of
个解脱中的
Liberation,
法论也
the
讲到，
cause is Buddha
因就
nature.
是本
So
佛
it is
性，
given this excellent name, Buddha
给
nature
我
or
们非常
Tathagata
好的这
Garba,
个如来
which
藏这个
means
佛性
the essence of
的
those
这个美食，
gone, the such, the thus gone ones.
如
And
来
so, what does that mean to go to go thus, or to go beyond, basically? It is that when you recognize the true nature of the
当你
mind,
了解到
then you
到
can go
你的本
beyond,
质
which
的
means
时候，
you can attain the state of
你
awakening.
能够
And if you do
证
not
得
realize the
证
nature
悟
of the mind, then you are in
如
samsara.
果你了解
So
心
if
性
you
的话，
realize it, you
你
are
会
a
证
Buddha,
得
and not realizing it, you are in samsara.
那
So
如果
that's
不
the
了解
difference.
本性，就
And
必
in
须
order
在
to
六道
realize
轮
the
回。
nature of the mind, we receive the ripening empowerment,
那我们
which is
能
just
够为了
like
要帮助我们了
a
解心
ripening
性，我们
the
就
seed of a
受这
flower
个
into a
成
flower.
熟的灌
So
顶，
we
就好
learn
像
during the empowerment
让
that
种
sentient
子成
beings
熟、开
can
发、
ripen
成长为
into
花朵，
Buddhas.
让众
And
生
that's
变
the only difference
慢
between
慢
Buddhas and
成
sentient
熟成
beings.
佛
It's just
陀。
maybe the temporary appearance, but then now temporarily we speak about Buddhists and non-Buddhists and so on,
但是中
but really or different
就近
lineages
来讲，我们
and
或
so
许
on.
会
But
有二元对
actually,
立的
all
讲法，
sentient
佛
beings
教徒
of the
非佛，
6
佛教
realms
徒
of
等等这
samsara
样划
possess
分。
Buddha
但是我们要
nature.
知道，就近
They
来
have the
讲，
same nature,
六道
and
轮回的一切
yet
众生都
it
具
is
有佛
only
性。
the precious human body that is endowed
我们
with
唯一的不
6
同，
elements or constituents
那我们的
that has the karmic fortune, the
每
great
个众
merit
生
to
有不同的
accomplish
这个
enlightenment. It is only the precious human body that has the opportunity to receive a ripening empowerment and then practice the Vajrayana. Any sentient being in the other 6 realms do not have those opportunities. And of course, they can still receive the blessings of an empowerment, for example, some benefit, but they are not actually able to engage in practice. They cannot really accomplish the real purpose of the empowerment. So it's really only the precious human body, a precious human being that has the karmic fortune to do so. And so, again, what's the reason we receive an empowerment? It is so that we can mature. And what needs to mature? The mind needs to mature into Buddha. So what is the immature mind? The immature mind is like an ice block. And the mature mind is like an ocean water. And that's the difference between Buddhas and sentient beings, like the difference between ice and water. So you need to melt the ice block. So for as long as you don't melt your own ice block, you suffer, don't you? And so in that moment of being a sentient being, that existence is bound to suffering. And when you mature, then you experience great bliss, and the bliss comes from your freedom, like ocean water. Ocean water is free, and also you attain the ability to benefit others. For example, just like rain falling from the sky and so on, just naturally permeating beings with benefit. And so for this reason, in brief, the more empowerments you receive, the better it is. Because all beings possess Buddha nature, and during the empowerment, it is like we are bringing this seed to its full potential. We are ripening it. And therefore, every time you receive an empowerment, it's like you're adding a little bit of water to the seed that you have already planted. So first you plant your seed, and whenever you receive a ripening empowerment, you're adding some water to that seed. And so for this reason, it's important to receive empowerment.
다지이지 데르들이 자동 모종 딱방 우보든 심만을 시니 데르다당 우세들이 느끼기가 잡들이 마탑들이 제가난지 동에 선지 소소로 와로 소시 동에 되는 데르 말게 가난지 동에 따뜻한 답을는 통지 말이 니도 동에 치본데 와디 강리 송수로 다리 송우지 다 지가 단디지 다메 빨아 다도 송하데 다도 용란지 좋고요 산지게 내려오지 다이오는 짐이 좋대라고요 말이 다 매발아 다서 뭐요래 생긴 담지가 출발해지 산지게 상들 거기 다 매바자 다 매바 하고 그래지 남이도 시합에 산지시라고 다 매바서 못 하고 그래지 다들 무슨 때문에 센터 다리지나 센터 다리지나 다 센터 가도 센터 내려도 어디 다 매바서 못 하고 그래 요밤마이 매밤마이 따뜻한 탑절했더니 롱다르 베이지를 원미다와 리다다냐 민설하고 지바로 사소 석진 독신 때라서 버들 또다 세계 내lok대 또는 그때 상계지 언제 바데 상계 sem광을 하기들 남과다 어리 그 때라들이 축구를 롱거 축구 거스는 거 이야기는 sem들이 sem용들이 거스 사유 거스는 거랑 비야 되게 차요래 대응도 나로 와가 가면 되라 들이 다다 마다는 것을 르마 이성을 박차 용하더니 르거왕 마르송왕 세나 톡적 왕지 그 왕성 왕도르디 바스 왕성을 참으려 대배 제나스니 왕나 도망을 왕마라 왕망 보여래 이런 다 톡들이 딱 송토로 왕한테 그러래 디더니 톡 왕지 바들이 다딩이 처럼다고 되셨구나 다디 광처럼 들어보였나? 때 가리기 시작하거든. 왕지는 언제서 뭘 같이 왕 톱나? 되니 왕다 왕소 담색에서 뭐 담색소 뭐 톱나? 이런 왕신이 그 말했지. 담책가래 담책이 와서 왕 담책은 탁독 받았더니 톡조왕을 해야지 톡조왕 탁독 받았더니 당 상속세를 해야지 상제나 나지 니가 로드 파 상구나 인핑을 로드 조다를 해야지 나디는 차그런 따를 해 내가 인핑을 로 상속세지 왕눈이 담도 세지면 왕적 영역 말이 토마니 왕가 쪼라들이 토마 상속세 영탈 왕가 담쳐라 사족센도 가야 다 삼제 삼바는 일이지. 오, 뒤에들이 세는 삼제 지고 뭐가니 세들 루루 차용을 나그 도배지 세아지고 도지 동랑구나 semru루 차지고 차마도 와. 따지 생구 장황 때서 쇼요래. 피지 삼제를 대발라 되리. 야, 막주바지 뭐지 남들이나 들이 고소라더래. 그래 네가 나한테 채는 차공차공으로 손들이 다 죽어있는 거래. 때렸더니 들이 해당 차도 올라서 왔다 용바 독재네들이 다 되게 땅 호라 독이었대. 사준처럼 다 차로 대회라 왕소 담책시 받을 거래지. 왕자를 잡아 담책 쪽막도 요 말이지. 왕자시는 되 딸 담책이 그래 사족선 나반이지. 그것도 사족선 오 세미바 사바세미바다 니에셈 사바세미바래지. 사바세미바는 이게 세미바인 거래. 와그 통하니 이 사족선 집에 탑대 짬도리 산지에 그때 하고 그래. 짬도리 산지에我做了大众照顾的，他这个人去的就是三天的光子。我这里他这里三天去原地的，三天下满中了，三天我送到原地的唱歌有个原地送他去到三天，在原地把他们给唱歌有我做什么唱歌的，这个这里当着个就是到晚上的是啥就是的，哦，这个第三次的就往马去了，就三天没了，就三天拉松了。就已经没这点有么做个，然后的可能唱个有嘞。往马军呢就是哦，你往学我们写到差到可得见人这个有嘞。这个对，对你上次人多多了在这个有嘞，没错。往学呢，上把人家的大国家呢，这个对那个生活路下来呢，当地小人多些的，对他上出生，别人确实要做到的，小人要做了疼的。대답을 털을 때는 왕쇼고 제 동태 심지 담치를 대식이고 요래지 어느 왕쇼도 담책 송고 시바 다소 싸바 담치들이 삼바던 인계래지 삼바던 게 줄랬지라 그리 나디 매간도네 삼바체면 인제 체면 나디 매가들 대신 저런 것도 쉬어고 요래지 그랬더니 약지쳐서 예배 받자고 요래 이 차마 차가 바로 동해를 타고 요 말이 내가 동네를 잘 탑, 내 같은 집에 탑들이 소강 나서면 하면 산지가 송에 당호 왕쇼고 봐, 왕같이 있으나 되게 마치 왕쇼사리 왕리 들이 상하 담세 냠나 왕그 쇼요래 소탈것들이 소종리 막 소종들이 왕쇼가 왕을 왕인지 조요래 일에서 사만이 왕인지 대 강리들이 소들이 차로 착동되는 데야 조그만 요래야 조 탑들이 전된 차로만 잡아 탑 양당한테 담색 소들이 왕가 담색대 적하고 그다 왕가 담색 상태지 이 왕순아 마준이 조 상태라서는 종이 손으로 저래지 왕순이 담색 마송너더니 리바테스 체르데 그냥 다다 왕순이 시기도 채됐어요. 바티지 바를 맞아 저쪽에 왕마지나 유모번이 받지 바를 유모번이 로아르도 대란이 차대를 저번에 뒤수고 그선에 좀 되게 직선을 한 속인지 저시 당것이 냐와랑 속 저 세나한테 다른 한 속. 대라도 로아르도 유몽적을 한 속. 무슨 다 차려야지. 대다로 지는 데서 너가 왕 쇼고 봤다. 왕가 탐색도 상태인 봐. 민지 저때 대신은 뭐 소소로 봐 하고는 일단 왕 쇼고 봐. 대마처럼 왕이제네. 이 자로 탐색도 상태인 봐. 대에서부터 하고서는 이 태동적인 요 말이 대하장 기침보래. 그때 좀다 가니나 라마 석에나 왕시 받을 도다지 와 차대요. 돈들이 소들이 조대 아주 소 상태를 두대야 돼서 나중에 자는 종대 나중에 차선대 파티 종교에 도서 종 하고 왕 대기 동쪽과를 때 주로 넘버 3이 니르신게 일인지도 기체 모요래 때 왕의 동다 디바스
So how has the mind become like an ice block? How is it frozen?
我们的心如何这个
We haven't realized the true nature
僵化
of the
凝固的
mind.
呢？这就是
And
能
if
能
you
够
don't realize the true
能
nature
够
of your
见到
mind,
心性而定。
then
如果
there's a perception of
如
the
果没有
self.
办法见到
So
自己
you
的心性，
hold
就会
on
有一个
to
我
this
的这个概
belief
念，
that there exists self
这个
and
就会
other.
感到说
And
有
due to this
我跟
dualistic
他的这种
grasping,
差别。
you develop thoughts of attachment, aversion, and ignorance. And you cling to the true existence of appearances, the concrete
这
existence.
就是会
And as a
有这
result
个
of such
之外在
clinging,
的
you experience
这个
suffering. As a human being, we
现
mainly
象为
experience
实
the。suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death. And then there is a lot of suffering in the other of the
那
six
或者是
realms
说
of
会
samsara. And we can see the suffering in this world, at everywhere in this world. And so, how did that
那
happen? Why
那
is there
个
so
只是
much
这个世
suffering?
界上的苦
It's
为实，
because
这到底
of
是怎么
that
产生的呢？
self. It is because we believe in a
主要就
self,
是因为我们有
the
我执的关
existence
系。
of the
当我们
self
认为有一个
that does
我
not
为实
actually
的时候，
exist. So the belief in it in itself is not what's so wrong,
当
but it's
我
because
们
it doesn't
有认为
exist.
有
So
我的这种
if
观
a
念，不
self
是什
would
么错
actually
误的事。
exist, then nobody is saying you couldn't believe
当
in
然没有人
it.
说
Then
你
it's
不
fine
能
to
相
believe
信
in
自
it.
己。
But the thing is that it doesn't actually exist. So that is what we call the confusion of
那
sentient
就是所
beings.
谓众生的
They
这个迷
perceive
惘。
a self, a dualistic existence of self and other that actually doesn't
当我们
exist.
这个
And the
认
Buddha
为说
had
自他二
realized
元
that
对立的
there
分别，
is
这事实
actually
上
no
是
self.
不存在
So
的。
that realization is called the wisdom realizing selflessness. So the Buddha saw that actually self and other are
佛陀这样
inseparable.
讲说，自他
So
是
we
没有
think that
究竟
our
上没有去
mind,
分别
our
的。
consciousness is the self. And so during the empowerment,
在
we
灌顶
are
的过程
introduced to
当
the
中，
fact that there is actually no
那事
self.
实上是
So when you really
我
look at
的。
your mind, where really is that self? Actually, you can't find it. There is no self
当
anywhere.
你的真的要往
It
内
is
看自我的
the
我
mind
的
is
时
a
候，是
nature that
是到处都找不到的，
cannot
就像密信
be
了不得可
described in
得一
any
样。
way. So it can neither said to be existing nor can it said to be
这并不是
non-existing.
说存在或者
It
是不存在
transcends
这
what we
种二
call
元
the
对立
four
的道理。
extremes. This is how it is explained according to the logic of the Madhyamaka, the middle
不
way.
管是说中观的
And then
讲
there's
法，
other methods too to realize the nature of mind, such as according
在
to
我们的
the
心性的
practice
内容
lineage
来
of
讲的话，
blessings, the practices of Mahamudra and Dzogchen. And so when you realize the nature of the
当我们
mind, that is
能
what
够
we
了
call
解心性
Buddhahood.
的时候，
And a Buddha
就
means
是能
a
够
mind that has
了
become
知佛
completely
性，
free of all
成
fixation,
熟
of
成
all
佛。
grasping. And this mind that is free of all grasping is
这个没有
vast
任
like
何执着
space.
的这个心，
It is also explained that within your own
在我们的
mind,
心性当
all the
中，
qualities of the three kayas are Dhammakaya, Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya. So
在
all
我
of
们
that
成熟的心识当中是
is
三具
introduced
足
to
法
us
报
by
化三
the
身于一体
empowerment.
的。
And then also through the empowerment, we purify the impure karmic tendencies of our body, speech,
那
and
在我们
mind.
过程这个
And that
灌
is
顶的过
through
程
the
当
three
中，让我
levels
们
of
不成熟的
empowerment.
心
So
身口意给
the
予成熟。
form empowerment purifies the
灌
body
顶
and
的
the
这个暖
speech.
热，
Empowerment purifies the speech and the mind empowerment, the
我们
mind.
身灌顶
So
成
the
熟我们的
briefest
身，
empowerment is divided into these
语
three
灌顶也成
empowerments.
熟我们的语
And more
业，意
elaborately,
灌顶
there
也
is
成
also
熟我们的意
empowerments
业。
that have 5 different levels to them, for example. But even though there can be many levels to empowerment, ultimately all empowerments are summarized in those three: the body, speech, and the mind. And those three are further summarized into the mind empowerment. That's really the essence of any empowerment, to receive the mind empowerment. And during the mind empowerment, we melt this ice block of self-grasping. And so then also one more thing about receiving empowerment. So it is said that the life force of an empowerment is to keep the samaya. And that is also another reason why sometimes people say that you shouldn't receive too many empowerments, because if you receive an empowerment and you can't keep the samaya, it's not good, so better you don't receive this empowerment. But then this person doesn't really understand what is samaya. What is samaya actually? Ultimately, samaya comes down to the mind empowerment, which is really the ultimate empowerment. And the mind empowerment is really the arising of bodhicitta in your mind. It is when bodhicitta arises that the selfish mind goes away. It is like the warmth that melts the ice block of self-grasping. So we can call it love and compassion, or the altruistic mind. And because it is the essence of every empowerment, there is no empowerment that doesn't begin with refuge and the motivation of bodhicitta, and also end with that, because the samaya is also bodhicitta. That's the samaya. So the samaya actually therefore is love and compassion, immeasurable love and compassion. When your mind is full of love, then your mind naturally is at ease. For example, if you are together with a friend that has great love for you, then you will naturally feel at ease and you will be happy. And that is in these moments, our ice block, the ice of our mind is melting a little bit. It is melting due to the connection of love that we share with one another. And on the other hand, if a person that you don't get along with comes, you feel resentment, you feel angry. And then it is just like two ice blocks bumping into each other, and then there is conflict and fighting. And then many negative thoughts arise, anger and jealousy, the six afflictive emotions. And these create samsara. So we need to understand how it has happened that our minds became so frozen like an ice block. So this is how it happened. And so again, the life force of the empowerment is the samaya. And even if you receive 100 empowerments, they all have one single root samaya. And what is that? It is bodhicitta, or the twofold bodhicitta. And especially for us, the relative bodhicitta. And the relative bodhicitta really in essence is immeasurable love. And if you have that, then immeasurable compassion will naturally arise. So, doing the empowerment of any deity, we cultivate bodhicitta, we are introduced to bodhicitta. So, an empowerment really is a method, a skillful means for us to cultivate bodhicitta. And it is so through the refuge leads us into bodhicitta. So that's the important point to understand. And the Buddha had seen that, and that is why the Buddha knew that taking refuge in the three jewels leads to cultivating bodhicitta, and therefore he said, first you should take refuge in the three jewels, and then you should practice the path of love and compassion. That is the Dharma. And then your guide on the path is the Sangha. Even though the Buddha is no longer alive, there is the Sangha who represents the three jewels. The Sangha's body is the Sangha, the speech is the Dharma, and the mind is the Buddha. Therefore, during every empowerment, we always start out with refuge, and then we cultivate bodhicitta. And that is also the samaya. And so, since bodhicitta is the samaya, actually, the argument that you shouldn't receive an empowerment if you can't keep the samaya actually doesn't hold. Because even if you don't receive an empowerment, if you lose your love for others, if you neglect love, if you further the afflictive emotions, then you will continue to wander in samsara. And whichever of the 6 afflictions is predominant will manifest, will ripen. So you can say, for example, if you say that, so as long as I don't receive an empowerment, I'm free, I don't have any samaya, I have no commitment, so I can do whatever I want, I can get angry, I can get jealous as much as I want. But really ask yourself, is it really okay? Because, of course, if you are fine, if you're happy just to go to the 3 lower realms, then in that case it would be okay. But if you don't really want to go there, then you have to hold on to love and compassion. And then your mind will naturally, the ice block of your mind will melt and merge into one with the ocean water. So that is the reason why it is good to receive empowerment. It's because it's good for anyone, because all beings possess Buddha nature. And now we also understand what is the meaning of the samaya. So the root samaya, the actual samaya is love and compassion. And if you cultivate love and compassion, then self-grasping will diminish. And when immeasurable love and compassion arise, then you merge with the Buddha mind completely. And until that is accomplished, you will still not become liberated from suffering. So you need to continue to practice the path that the Buddha had laid out. The Buddha taught basically 3 levels of path, of the Pratimoksha, the Bodhisattva, and the Vajrayana path. So again, it is good to receive empowerment, and the more you receive, the better it is. And also, what you can do is, after you have received an empowerment, is that you can also take a self-empowerment, which becomes kind of like a purifying and restoring ceremony. Sometimes we lose our samaya, our love and our compassion diminishes, and so then we need to restore and purify. And in the sutra path of the Pratimoksha, there's a practice called the sojong, which means purifying and restoring. And the empowerment is just like the sojong of the tantric path. So therefore, if you cannot find a guru from whom to receive an empowerment, you can also just take a self-empowerment. And whenever you do that, any empowerment is a method to melt the ice block. It is like applying some warmth to this ice block, putting it out in the sun. So the more empowerments you receive, the more the ice block is melting. So that is the most important thing that we first need to understand when we receive an empowerment in terms of the samaya. So the samaya is love or loving kindness. And if you lose your love, it doesn't matter whether or not you have received an empowerment or samaya, so to speak. If you lose your love, you will go to the 3 lower realms. It becomes the cause of that. And if you receive an empowerment, and if you if your love declines for some time, of course it is a fault, because we shouldn't let it allow it to degenerate intentionally, knowingly, but also we can purify with this awareness, which is like the sojong, that's why we receive another empowerment, or we take a self-empowerment. And so if we continue to commit, we don't receive empowerment, we don't take any samaya, we think we can do what we want, then whatever of the afflictive emotions is predominant will naturally manifest. Thigten Sumgön had said that cause and effect is the moment-to-moment appearance, or the appearance of one's moment-to-moment thoughts. So that means that if your affliction is anger or hatred, then that will naturally manifest as hell.
那当然，我
And
们
if your
的
affliction is
嗔恨心升起
greed
的时候，
or
自然有一天
stinginess,
会承受
then
成在地
that
狱
will
的景
naturally
象。
manifest as the hungry
那
spirit
当我们
realm.
贪执
And so in this
这个
way,
增长
each of
成
the
熟
6
的时候，自
afflictive
然有一天
emotions
会变成有这个
naturally
恶鬼道的
manifest
结
as
果。
a direct experience of the 6 realms of
所以根
samsara.
据我们内心的
So,
烦恼的因
and
的成
therefore,
熟，就
now we
会显
understand
现
that
出
it
六
is
道
good
的
to
种
receive
种形样
empowerment,
相。
and we also understand the samaya. What is the
所以我
samaya
们
of
对
the
于这个灌
empowerment?
顶的意
So
义
it
应
is
该要了解，
love.
对于三昧
And
耶，
we
也就是
understand
慈爱
that
心要有进
we
一步的
can
理
take
解。
self-empowerment
那
to
有这
also
种正
to
确的了
restore.
解的话，
So
甚至
those
可以
3 are
给自己
important to understand. If
给
you
予灌
understand
顶。
them, you will be free of
那
doubts.
如果
And
你
that's
了
why
解
they
这
are
个道
very
理，你自然
important.
就没有任何的
And
疑
once you
惑。
are free of doubts,
当你没有疑
you
惑
can
的时候，
receive any
就可以
empowerment from any guru,
从
from any
任何
lineage. The meaning
任
of
何
any
传承的正心
empowerment
上
is
师
the
呢，就
same.
接
And
受这个
so,
灌顶
in
都是
brief,
可以。
doing an empowerment, we are
所以
like
简而言
restoring
之，
or
这
purifying
个
the
灌顶
mind.
也可以讲
We
说
are
是我们重整来净化我们
applying
的
some
心事，
heat to the ice
就好
block
像让我们的
when
心
we
如何
cultivate
不把它
love,
变成一个
and the
冰
ice
块一
block
样。
is melting. So again, the sojong of the
那
sutra
这个
path
经教
is
里
the
面的这
empowerment
个
of
忏
the
悔，
tantric path. They have the same
那跟
meaning.
我们这个
So therefore, please, Dharma
密续
friends,
的这个灌顶
ask you
有类似
to
的功能
keep
跟意义。
these words dear to your
所以
heart,
各位
close
法
to
友，
your
请
heart.
将这
So
个
that is the brief
内容
commentary on the
给予
meaning of the
牢
empowerment.
记在心。
드리만 거지가네 거자가 라가는데 드리 습지도 사지 공부대 버제데 사지에서 사지 거서 무용데 인성
Hello.
드리 저거 남 갔다서 로고 자송다서 저거 잡았다서 이제 가지는 드리 랑기가 드리 중앙 가에 칸 차비오래 다 가지 제만을 본 거면 네 통은 말아서 중앙 가에 칸 잡대요래서 중앙 가지 드리서 심지 줄어요 가리 유몽가리 마음이 빨리 유몽가리 미소는 시간이 이 시간이랑 또 되지 람지 바카르티 나카는 자송 람지 다 샤야 요리 무슨 통야 통주스 있죠 봐
现在这个音量好一点了吗？
시간이랑 요
变分。
로고 자송 따서 이제 지랑 따다 통야 요 중앙간 차려 봐 또 때리 이 때려더니 다 왕골 가서 들린 거기 로고 요 이제 문제 라마지 왕골 고래지 때 가면 거기 로고가 왕 통다 하고 요래 거사가 거기에 sem지나 대식宁波 요바 류풍함 김치도 마민바 매도 상무도 인바 이 민지 왕장의 생각 좋지야 말이니 고말이 이 동대 시바들 로고문지 도마도 버세지도 나시지 지도 나다위 원치 말이 다지 이진을 간 통다 마시 바타비 이 sem지라고 요래 내가 때문에 좋지에 왕가 때문에 좋지에 그들을 안 그 왕이 족과양들이 사시바들이 저거 남았다고 탑지 돈이 가면 찾대요래 로그자 송다들이 답하신 감 이 봐서 시간무시요 대신함 담지를 이 찾들이 신감들이 사왔다는 것을 루제 담타들 로그 찾대요래 이들을 쭉 생기 담세는 것을 쭉 걸라고 해 이들 독재 비슷하면 쭉 공수요는 호화도 쭉 가서 요래 저거도 로그지 딱 맞춰 드니 생긴 호화들이 다 맞다니 냠들 요봐 차당 차로 냠들 요봐 저들이 쭉 거서 쭉 가야 하려고 이제 심 대신 뭐지 이 사지가 저 요봐라 내가 들이 다 차로 로고 차는 유모를 하죠 다 좋아를 좋자 내가 들이 박찬천랑 줘 그래서 대샤기 요래 그때 마 포를 차로 시켜서 시켜요 하고는 들이 무슨 로고 때고 하고는 들이 된대야 그리고 사로 마타게 뒤송 하고는 들이랑게
抱歉，很多法友讲我的声音不够大，因为刚刚电脑出的问题。那如果暂时没办法调整的话，我会在中场的时候再来调整，很抱歉。
문제를 가이들 다족성에서 대학고서는 그 양단용들하고 산족성검 세미적검 들라검 마디 리주보 차종하나 거슬라이 거요왕 마가보 차종하나 송고왕 그 세부보 차종하나 대통령왕데 대통령왕들이 다 토발들이 산족성지 진비로 세미지 그 뒤에를 돈다고 대마 이랑 이거 하고 오늘 세미게 줄이지는 그 송도 왕성데 왕탑지 철도는 동대다 그래 이 되는 거 왕들이들이 살아돌지 왕을 해야 돼. 이 살아돌지에다 야말이 양들 지내서 됐는데 주성주 산지 탐제제 거송톡서 노도지 진호를 살아오는 자선 자지 뭐 살아돌지 주성주 산지 탐제 톡경을 오라더니 저는 따뜻하고서 법바라라 따뜻해라서 그 돌리를 저 탐제 톡게 살아돌지 톡지 야바로 그 얘네들 송 살아도 이제 톡송 사실 탐지를 고송 톡적되지 뭐 대차들을 대다 살아도 이제 따지로 살아도 이제 도리참 내가도 뭐 도리가 맹도 없어리지 도리시 바디 민소로 도리참은 마음이 없었는지 다 나와서 샘들하고 샘도 도리 샘코는 제시메 도리라고 요래
燕芬，我这样讲话你听对吧？
And then when we receive an empowerment,
那在我们接受灌顶
the connection between the deity from whom we
就是跟我们跟本尊建立起连接。
and then oneself who receives the empowerment. So sentient beings
所谓的众生
the qualities of the three kayas
是具足在我们心意中具足的三身的。
And for a Buddha, these qualities are manifest.
那对佛陀来讲，它本身具足的三身。
Dharmakaya is like
法身就好像虚空一般。
The Sambhogakaya is like a rainbow in the sky. And the Nirmanakaya is like rain falling down.
那化身就好像天空降下的雨一般。
The three kayas pervade all of the five elements.
那所以这个我们的三身都具足五大元素。
Milarepa said just before his passing that he will continue to pervade the five elements. So his nature is beyond death, actually. Just at the time when we are still sentient beings,
我们的一个人过生之前呢，我们的
those five elements, so the five outer elements are connected to the five afflictive emotions.
那在我们还在这个人生的过程当中，有五种烦恼。
So that is when we are immature, unripe.
当我们不成熟的时候，就是五种烦恼。
The five afflictions actually become the five wisdoms.
那当我们成熟的时候，我们这种五种烦恼就变成五种智慧。 就好像虚空中的彩虹一般。
The natural radiance, the light of the five wisdoms.
那天空的彩虹就是去除这个物质原本的这种特质功德，我们能够看到真正的光。这是我们无知如何能够冲遍这个五大元素。 在我们灌顶过程当中，是由诸法上师给予灌顶。所谓的金刚上师，是对于这个心性所了解。那接受灌顶的心境的众生，事实上也具有这种佛性的心，在心性中具有佛性的。只是他们的五大是不纯净的，而金刚上师是纯净的五大的。
So they need to be introduced by someone who understands how things really are.
所以，对于这未成熟的众生，不纯净的五大呢，他必须要透过了解这一切的人来引导他们，给他们指引。那让他们更进一步理解，那这就是金刚上师已经了达了这一切，那对于这个接受灌顶的众生还未了达。所以我们一般所讲的众生
how things really are. And so therefore in empowerment we are introduced to that. And then once you're introduced to that, you realize that actually I can become a perfect Buddha. It is just like when wood meets with fire, then the wood also becomes fire. It turns into fire, it's burned. And so similarly, if we meet with the meaning during the empowerment, if we understand the meaning, we realize that
过程中，我们了解灌顶的意义的，那是有可能证悟成熟成这个圆满佛陀的。
So we have said that Dharmakaya is the space-like,
我们这
empty and all-pervasive nature of the mind. And then the Sambhogakaya are it's like a rainbow in the sky, and
如同虚空一般，我们报身就是从那个空中的彩虹
everywhere.
可以遍布一切。
So the Yidam deity is what we call the Sambhogakaya.
所以我们说本尊的这个报身的本尊。
It is said that all 6 realms of samsara are actually Nirmanakayas.
那至于化身来讲，我们也有一种讲法说，6道的众生就是化身的显现。那只是说是不纯净的，那至于报身的化身是纯净的部分。
Which is basically just like ice and water coexisting in this world.
好像这个差别就好像海水跟冰块的差别。
We call others Nirmanakaya or Adruku, but the actual meaning of that is that it is because
当我们称另外一个人是图库或者是化身的时候，那他们这个觉醒的程度而言，所以众生其实都有觉醒的这个潜力的。那只是众生呢，我们还是为我们的业的印记所控制。所以我们见到的一些事情的现象，都是一种扭曲的现象。透过我们的这个修行，是可以融化我们这种我执的冰块的。这个金刚上师就可以给我们这种指引。那身为弟子的我们呢，一定要奉行的这样子来修行。那有一天能够证悟本尊的证悟的身口意。那总有一天可以融化，我执融化就变成海水合而一。那在这个时候，事实上也可以做这个自我灌顶。这个就是灌顶的这个方便的法门，可以让你自己来做自灌。
Dharmakaya and also Sambhogakaya, and that all beings are actually Nirmanakayas because as Gampopa also had said, all Buddha nature So when you receive these instructions, you recognize that I possess Buddha nature. If I cultivate bodhicitta, I can become awakened, I can become enlightened. And so that which ripens you, therefore, that which matures you is bodhicitta. If you keep
那最主要的这个要做的就是要升起菩提心。
You keep cultivating the 4 immeasurables, bodhicitta,
反复的升起四无量心、菩提心，透过观顶，透过持咒，那你的心是可以慢慢的完全净化。从身观呢净化身障身业，从语观我们净化我们语业，从意观我们净化我们的意业。能够这样了解，这是很重要的。最主要就是要我们升起菩提心以及四无量心。当我们升起是无量心跟菩提心的时候，那自然就可以慢慢成熟。
The ultimate nature, the ultimate essence of the three empowerments is included there.
这个就是三灌顶的这个究竟的这个本质，就在于菩提心。今天我们要给各位的这个金刚手菩萨的灌顶。文殊菩萨、观音菩萨、金刚手菩萨三而合。
Buddhas of the 3 times enlightened
这三个这个30诸佛的本质都在以这三个菩萨来做代表。
And actually all the Vajra deities are related
所谓的金刚的本尊
For example, Vajrakilaya is also
他们有相同的心思
manifestation of the Buddha's enlightened mind, or
那主要就是有
Manjushri would be the body. So the Vajra kind of deities, especially Vajrapani, are the mind. Manjushri is body, and Chandresi is speech.
就金刚的代表意，就像普巴金刚，
body, speech, and mind
或者是金刚手菩萨。
So all the Vajra deities are a representation of the enlightened mind. So, for example,
所谓的金刚本尊，这是具有佛陀证悟的心意。或者金刚种子等等。
The meaning that we're introduced to is great because Vajra is really
我们能够了解这一点是很好的。
We speak about the
因为我所谓的金刚就是我们内心真正的本质。心金刚、意金刚
transcends birth and death.
是超越生死的。
Everlasting natural state. That's the Vajra mind. And so that is what we must realize. And so not realizing that, not realizing our Vajra mind nature, we perceive duality of self and other.
当我们不能了解我们的心刚心的本质，我们就会见到二元对立的思想。
This grasping at me as this I,
那由于对我的这种执
and
着，
wander in the 6 realms of samsara.
而继续在6道中轮回流转。
Their Vajra mind nature are sentient beings who suffer. And when you realize your Vajra mind nature, then you see that my own mind actually is beyond birth and death.
当我们成熟的时候，我们自然可以了解到我们这个心是超越生死的。
The mind is still the same. The mind has
虽然我们的身体在各道中轮回，但我们的心是一样的。
If you understand the meaning of this, you have understood the meaning of all the empowerments.
如果你对这一点能够了解，你就能够了解所有这个所有灌顶的背后的意义。
서달나 삭자다바 낭달나 사라도지 상달나 도지 장치보 이 대সম제 사제 탐제제 사면 조드바 yen데 진주래 고보 속상제 공지 상지 제네 라저 gen지 송바다 강라 강들제 상하제 라 탐제 다당 동데 로직대 거여져봐 콜로디죠 소거져봐 마하야나 톡져봐 이바도지 용티져봐 상한지반 틀레제 저봐 뒤져 콜로 탐제 다당오 저봐 얘데 유리 ngāi kāna tōwa nā lūchī nam nā sāngye nī ngāi sōngda tūpa nā kōrwa nē jāng dewar tōp ngāi tōkda tōpa nā sēmjīn tamjē sāngye nī sēmjīn tamjē sāngye nī jisōngba sāna dōjī dēye wānggōr tōpjāng yidām sēnā 라스인 데브제 강기장 석바 연세 사도르지 줄에 달아 따드 손절나 데브제 기타 태솜미 예송베 타톡 상제제 톡 도지 당 예름 시반데네 사지 도지에서 또 도탑니니 속군지 띵섬제 도지제 봐 네 라마지바니 잡다 도지 장 도지 나오지마 아빠 가라쿠타 리나라키타 그 리나라키타 셔바라카라쿠타 세타르 코타 신타 시르바다 창로도 도지 잠시 로도 조니 방로리 때마 사당 마드베지 사당 보방과 바꿔가서 몰라만 조디 로불라마 제셔마가 취지 잡고 저는 집어서 남면이 지금 왕은 집바를 지금보다 레나 셈바 신다를 취지 잡고 권초를 권초 그래서 보자 동군 봐 권초 땡진도들 이게 지진진도들 그래서 이제 로지 저기 제도서 찾다 콜른 공부 대지 변매 잠시 로지 잠시 지지 대지 주왕랑도 주인도 먹고 저 두지만 가르치 땜배 잠시 지지 취재 로드 장부 시월 로드 같이 차례요 저 프로토 준비도지我特定我的那么就把这一起说老过嘛嘞老过嘛嘞这些那么就把可能亲戚亲戚另外王学生的我说特定我学你让听不就啊个这这我说特定不的你去吧嘞这个是王跟光是吧嘞
So here's the history for the Vajrapani empowerment. Outwardly, and this deity is Shakyamuni. Inwardly, he is Vajrapani, and intermediately, he is great Vajradhara. He is the treasurer of the secrets of all the Buddhas of the three times. It is said in the Manjushri Namasangiti, I am unquestionably the holder of the secrets of all the protectors, the perfect Buddhas. All the deities of the secret mantra who tame beings according to their needs have this same meaning and essence. The body emanation is Chakrasamvara, the speech emanation is Mahamaya, the mind emanation is Hevajra, the quality emanation is Guya Samaja, and the activity emanation is Kala Chakra. They all have the same essence. It is said in a Tantra, when you see my body, all beings are in the nature Buddhas. When you hear my voice, you obtain happiness even if you are in samsara. When you realize my mind, all sentient beings are in nature Buddhas. If you obtain this empowerment of Vajrapani and make him your Yidam deity, no one among the 8 classes of gods and demons can harm you. It is said in the Vajrapani Tantra, if you always persevere in this practice, there is no doubt that the 8 classes of gods and demons will be like your servants. And ultimately, it will make you indivisible from the Vajra mind of all the Buddhas. It belongs to the Kriya Tantras and the Vajra family. The sadhana is composed by Acharya Achikten Somgidojim. And so then after that, Rinpoche read the name of the lineage masters, and so it was enough for you just to have heard their names once. And Rinpoche himself had received this empowerment from Gonchok Thupten Nyingpo, who was Lojchen Rinpoche's, Lamchen Rinpoche's uncle, Lamchen Gyabo Rinpoche's uncle.
Dosa Maya, Manu Palaya, Bedasa Toseno,
Next we will offer a mandala. And so the reason why we offer a mandala, how we offer mandala during an empowerment, is that so the root of samsara is self-grasping. It's because of self-grasping that samsara arises. And so now we bring to mind all of that self-grasping of self and other, and also along with the entire outer universe. And then we offer it up to the Buddhas. And so next we will recite the mandala offering. So when you offer a mandala, you think that you're offering limitless universes up to all the Buddha's pervading space. And we're going to recite the mandala offering that comes from the Guru Yoga, a practice of Milarepa. The words of this particular mandala offering are very profound. So in the yellow prayer book, that's on page 7. an infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping, completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Devanta Kini Ratna Mandala Prateja Soha.
再次做嗡曼达。做的曼达的供养是从密勒日巴上师的嗡曼达的仪轨，我们观想要借供养给十方天人宇宙的诸佛菩萨。
So whether you are receiving empowerment from Guru or you are taking a self-empowerment, you should think that the principal deity appears out of the Dharmakaya space expanse instantly as the rainbow-like Sambhogakaya. So at the center is the deity, the main deity from whom you receive the empowerment, and think that that deity is surrounded by all the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 times, who all appear in an instant. They appear just like a mother appears when she hears the cries of her suffering child. So the mother will just naturally come. And the Buddhas love all sentient beings just like a mother loves her child. And that is whether or not we supplicate them. Even if we don't supplicate them, the Buddhas still look upon us with great compassion. But now when we supplicate them, you should think and be completely certain that they are actually there. They actually appear before you.
佛本尊就在我们前面，要跟着仁波切念。
红波金，水白，陀罗，南中华，德人，谢白，人气节，作物，达拉，噶千座。
In English, embodiment of omniscient wisdom, who utterly purifies the wheel of existence through your kindness, please grant me the principal deity of the precious treasury you are setting forth today. And then next up, please repeat the 5 pure branches, which is to take refuge and to cultivate bodhicitta, to confess all misdeeds and obscurations, and is to rejoice and then finally to dedicate the roots of virtue from these practices for the complete awakening and enlightenment of all sentient beings.
一切的众生为了他们证悟佛果做回向。这仁波切念。
Dekpa, mege, so sha, rowe, gela, ji yi rang, sang je, chang chep, yi ji zong, sang je, chu tang, chom cho la, chang chep, par se, da jam chi. Rangji, Dongni, Rab Drabser, Changchub, Semne, Ji Barje, Changchub, Choke, Semne, Ji Jine, Semjin, Tamje, Daki, Rongde Nir, Changchub, 中求一用戒八戒罗拉平时长戒热八修。
I take refuge
我皈依三宝，我忏悔一切的罪障。 一切的不善，我随喜一切众生的善行，我保持正悟的佛善行中，直至证得菩提前，我皈依佛、法以及无上无比的生宝。 为了成就自他，我升起菩提心，已经升起菩提心，无上正悟的心。我欢迎一切的众生，并且会行无上的菩提行。 为了欢喜一切众生，为了一切众生证悟成佛。
Now, so Dharma friends, please take a break for 20 minutes.
所以各位法友，我们休息20分钟。在休息的时候，请意念菩提心，而且你也想着，就算我要去洗手间小便，我也保持菩提心。
那刚刚临时他们换了一个灌顶文，所以来不及为各位事先来翻译，在这边讲一下，在金刚手菩萨来讲，外在是外相是释迦牟尼佛，内在是金刚手菩萨，在中间呢，它就是伟大的金刚总持，它是所有三世诸佛密续的持有保护者。那么在所有的这个密咒称的本尊当中，那么这个本尊会依据众生的需求而来给予他们帮助以及调伏，那让他们的都有同样的这样子的一个意义跟本质的。那本尊的这个本尊的这个 身的划线就是圣乐金刚，它的语序的划线是玛哈玛雅，意的划线是喜金刚。那么它的事业它的功德的划线就是嘎亚萨玛加，以及它的事业的划线就是十人金刚卡拉查克拉。这个两段是之前没有来得及跟大家翻译的，然后这边也讲到仁波切这个灌顶的传承来自于朗金加波仁波切的 uncle， 他的叔父。那么那这个之间仁波切有讲了很多他的传承的来源，但是他也讲过说这种传承呢听过一次就好了，所以就不必我们用不同的语言把它翻译出来。那刚刚仁波切在休息之前他特别讲了一句，就是在我们去上厕所的过程当中也不要忘失了我们的菩提心。那至于中间有一段没有翻到的是灌顶的这个祈请文，那也谢谢 Ben 师兄在这个电脑机出问题的时候跳进来帮忙翻译。我们这一开始的祈请文是遍知之法身，遍知之化身，清净轮回界，请于今日慈悲赐予圣尊之灌顶。然后接下来五支供养呢是最胜三宝我皈依，一切罪业成忏悔，随喜一切众生善，诸佛菩萨心中持，诸佛圣法即生前，直至菩提恒皈依，为圆满利自他故，今发最胜菩提心，既发最胜菩提心，越迎一切诸有情，修胜菩提行越重，为利有情愿成佛。
다 주로는 봐. 양은 자 팬나. 아마 팬네 되니 다다. 다왕 무지라. 다다 왕. 뭐 함실 고성 토지 짓 나와서. 고성 토지 짓 나와서 이 토마토리 거의 지나. 되니 제가 나팔라 돌아서 와담. 되니 제가 짓이 나와서.
So now all Dharma friends have assembled, and so we come to the
现在已经看到的这个灌顶开始的部分。
This is a brief empowerment, and a brief empowerment consists of the authorization, which is the empowerment of body,
开始的要是给予许可的部分，就是身口意灌顶的部分。首先从身灌顶。
Please repeat the following supplication, thinking that you're supplicating all the deities abiding in space before you.
那我们在做这个灌顶祈请的时候，我们要如此观想，就是灌顶本尊在我们面前的虚空，充满面前的虚空当中。
주는 가리 샘 다음에 바로 다드는 생포랑 주고 오면 다음에 바로 다드는 다지 나오냐면 대 주고 요래 이렇게 잡선 좋아하지 애기들이 마음이 바로 나인데 바로 주고나 다들 주고는 인피를 놓고 주고 오면 샘나 갔다 그러더니 랑지가 다들이 야요면 탑 서쪽을 요면 사제 투기지거든요 오 단지전이 뭐 인피를 놓래 샘지지는 피고 어떤지 다른 미매가 차대리 되더니 람토마더니 산쪽조도 샘지바대리 이 산쪽조도 샘지 샘들아 다요 말 샘지 삼지 삼들이 샘지 치보 차대리 저 통만하니 차대리 이 제가 지지도 닦고 해주서 나와고 제가 다 지금 당모 차대들이 초이는 작가 차와야지 가리는 차당모 샤트고 요래 맨 잠소 당모이나 이런 것들이 속차당 샤고 참바상에 통토고 요래 저 당모 나디면서 생각하는 걸 아시지 죽거든 죽어 살라 당황 잡든지 어디 죽어 남았다 왜지 내린 남았다 타위미 받대 다들이 라이 거가래나 랑가 라이 남소주 것이 와주 그속대 아 공부 때 공부들이 가래래지 내가 sen 남았다 차지는지 나이다 속대 저거 다 가래 엄마 륜데 나리지 류들이 나들 아 자꾸 차가 요래 나이 류지 동네들 류들이라 말이들 실제가 그렇다고 요만이 아무래도 후가 여기 양면에 짜동이 가면 따따로면 사야만 못 샤도고 배지다 실제가 류커터 요만이 류커터 메나 진짜 류다 메바 류지 다종 진짜 류지 박차들이 다다 지금 뭐 차랑 동네들이 남시들이 박차 류 박차 저기 동네들이 동네 용 거래 내가 창제 탑렇게 봐 류라이 거 자송다 이거 도 sab지도 거는 류 박차 바지로 요래 다 파타로 그래 대들이 거 거기들 류지 박차 용서들 이 생각 박차 용어는 상속세 이제 다 소화다고 그래
So, first when the Buddha taught, first he taught the refuge. First we take refuge in the three jewels, and we enter the path. So the Buddha so the three jewels, how we see them is that the real refuge is the Buddha. And the Sangha is our companion, our guide, and the Dharma is the path. And Dharma means that we need to transform the mind, or fix our mind. And so that being said, it's not really the mind per se that we need to fix or change in any way, the mind itself, but what we need to change in our mind is we need to cut out or kind of let go of this thinking, this belief in the true existence of me, that I really exist. So that is what we need to get rid of. And the only way to eliminate this perception of self, and me, is through cultivating an altruistic mind that wishes to benefit others. And so that's the first step on our path, is to cultivate bodhicitta. If you cultivate bodhicitta, then naturally there will be no self. And then the mind in its natural state is completely vast, like space, or it is like clear, crystal clear water. So during the form empowerment, the body empowerment, we purify the karmic imprints of clinging to this body as me, as mine. So when the mind becomes free of that clinging, the mind becomes completely clear, like clear water. For example, if you have a clear lake, anything can be reflected in it clearly, and also you can see to the bottom. So when the mind is completely clear, you can see to the bottom of the mind, the actual nature of the mind. In other words, when there is no self-grasping in the mind, you will naturally see the Dharmakaya nature within you. There's actually also a refuge where we take refuge in the Dharmakaya. And the Dharmakaya is like space without center or boundaries, without any limitations, like open space. And then from within that space appears the Sambhogakaya of whichever deity you practice. Could be a peaceful or a wrathful deity. And so then the reason why, even though our nature is Dharmakaya, the reason why we visualize the Sambhogakaya is because what do you identify with? What do you call me? You're pointing at your body. You think that this body, that's me. It's because of the body that our perception of a self has become very solidified. It's my body. That's me. But then, is it really your body? Because there's no one who can bring their body with them when they die. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't bring your body. And you die, either it will be buried underground or burned away by fire, but you can't take it. But what you will take is this perception of me, this imprint, this habitual thinking of an self. And it is because of this imprint that there is a me, a self, that you continue to experience suffering, the suffering of hunger and thirst and heat and cold and bardo and so on. And so the Buddha, with his great compassion and skillful means, he also saw that when you exchange this perception of identifying with your body and instead identify with the deity, so you visualize yourself in the rainbow-like form of the deity, then you will simply forget about your ordinary body. And in this way, the imprint of the ordinary body becomes purified. So the visualization of the deity's form is in order to purify our karmic imprints of the body. And then we cultivate bodhicitta in order to purify the imprints of the mind. So next, please repeat the following supplications.
升起菩提心，那这就是接下来我们要做的动作。
체랑은 나오냐마 쪼그리처럼 삼형제 곰도 장데 나오냐마 파탑탑 송나 이리 시랍라티 이리 장게 다음에 봐 다니 이메와 하고 터져래지 이리 내만 있지 때문에 저거 탑에 좀 그래도 장 쪼버래지 장 삼형제 곰도 다음에 봐도 이리 저리 시랍티니 다니 이메와 하고 터져래 너는 랑가랑 쪼 내리 줄을 탑을 람티 이제 탈바 랑내라리 시바지서 콩거들이 좀 크다고 말해야지. 대사들이 산지 답들 도마까지 무슨 송거를 그랬지 송고 그랬지. 공서설 나라 παρ사돈 종들지 고송 톡제 지선나 공서설 공서설 나라 παρ사돈 종들지 고송 톡제 지선나 쌀두소.
Master, Please heed me. Please bestow upon me the empowerment of body, speech, and mind of the Bhagavan
祈请上师
Vajrapani.
垂念我，请赐予薄伽梵金刚手菩萨之身语意灌顶。金刚持者垂念我，
For the benefit of beings, I supplicate
为利
you,
有情故，
Exalted One, please cause the mudra of wisdom to arise.
金刚持者垂念我，为利有情过，祈请最胜引导尊，请令智慧之印升起。
And so Next is the visualization of the deity's form.
接下来是本尊形象的观想。
Just visualize the seed syllable of the deity.
我们要观想本尊的种子字。
Is the seed syllable of all the deities.
Hong 是所有本尊的种子字。
Meditate on the seed syllable.
当我们禅修
Like if it just
种子字的时候，
think I am the
如果我们能够
For example,
有这种
there still is this concept of
体
me.
认，我
But
就
if
是
you
本尊。
first start with the Hong, and if you meditate on the Hong,
这或许还
then
会
there
有
is
我的
no
成分存在。
concept of a self and me.
那但是我们如果
It
专
is
注在
also
哄
said that
字
the
上面，
Hong
就没有我
syllable
的。
is the king of all the seed syllables.
哄是所有种子
It is
字
also
之
said that
王。
if you wanted to meditate on all the Buddhas after 3 times instantly,
如果
all
你
at
要
the same
禅
time,
教
then you
在
should visualize the syllable Hong.
一时之间
Also
禅
regarding the
修
Hong,
所有的
it
本尊
becomes
就
like
可
a
以观想
protection
哄字。
sphere. Now, sometimes, for example, some disciples ask the guru,
有的时候
please,
弟子问本
let
尊
me
在上师，
enter into your sphere of protection, your
请让我
protection
进入你
sphere.
的保护帐幕之
Visualize
中，
me in your in your protection sphere.
请
And
在你的保护帐中
so
观想我。
ordinary people see it
对于一般
like
人来讲呢，
there's all these beings which are in this protection sphere. But then what the guru
认为就
actually
在这个
does is
保护帐幕中有
seeing
各
them
种不
all
同的
as
众生。
Hong. They all become
但
Hong.
是以
And so
上
then
师来讲
everything
呢
is， Hong.
在他的
And
保护
then
帐幕之中，
millions
一切
of
众生都如
beings
同哄字，
are all contained within the Hong. So this is how
所
they
有
can
的一
all
切
kind
众
of
生
fit
都
in the
含藏在哄
protection
字当
sphere.
中。
So the real meaning of Hong, therefore, is
这个哄字的
emptiness.
本质的意思
And,
就是空性。
Therefore, if you are able to just meditate on
所以
Hong,
如果你
everything can
能
be
够能够禅
encompassed
修这
by
个
it.
哄字，
And so when you visualize the Hong, therefore, it
当你能够
becomes
禅
like
修
a
哄字的，
natural protection sphere, or like basically when
这
I
就变
visualize
成一
Hong,
个
everyone
自然
is
的保护
naturally
帐幕。
included in
那
the
所有
sphere
的
of
众生就
protection
自然就在
through
这
the
个
Hong
保护
syllable.
帐幕之中。
And regarding the protection sphere,
至
Chikden Songren
于
also
保
said
护帐
that
幕呢，吉田松公主是曾说，
most supreme, the most powerful protection
最
sphere
有
is
用、最具
bodhicitta.
威力、最无上的保护，
So first, when you think of the Hong, just like when you cultivate bodhicitta, there
就
is
就是
no
菩提心。
concept of self or other at
不管是你
all.
观想哄，或者
So
是
when
菩
you
提心，
meditate
就
on
没
the
有我的
Hong,
观
the
念。
mind becomes
当你禅
empty
修
just
哄字，
naturally. That's
那
why in the beginning, when we practice the
心就自然。
deity, we visualize the seed syllable. And then as you habituate to Hong, also begin
当你这
to
个串习
feel
这个哄
how
字的时候，
everything is Hong, how
一切都是哄
each
字，
heartbeat reverberating through your body is like a
甚至
pulse of
你的
Hong,
这个
Hong,
身体的脉动都
pulsating
是
through
哄
your
字。
body. So everything becomes, the whole universe becomes Hong.
这个整个
And so now,
宇
with
宙
that
都
in
变成
mind,
哄字。
visualize that as the wisdom beings descend, think that from
接
the
下来我们
space,
观想在面
various
前
seed
虚空的
syllables as
本
Om
尊
and Hong and forms of deities,
所有智
wisdom
慧尊
deities
降下
descend
这
down
个
like rain
哄字
falling，down and
如
permeate
同
the
雨
entire
向下。
universe. So what really what
那在这边
what
是
really
真正所
permeates here,
代
the
表的是
blessing
什么
here
呢？
is their bodhicitta.
就是
So
我
it
们
is
的
like
菩提心，
actually like hot
就同像
rain
驾雨一
falling
样，
down and melting
把一
all
切
the
众
ice
生的我
blocks,
执给它融掉，
eliminating all of our self-grasping and
然后
revealing
把我们真正的
our
本质
true
让他们
nature,
能够
our
彰
Buddha
显出来，
nature.
就好
Which is
像
just like ice melting
冰
into
块
water
融
and
化
merging
成
with the
水，
ocean.
跟
And once
海
you
水合
become
为一。
like ocean water, then you will, that is the
如果
ongoing
能够
benefit, and it will bring happiness to others.
把我执
Because
融
the
掉，
ocean,
跟海
the
水合一，
water
这是你最
has
大的
no
快乐，也
suffering.
为
And
众
also
生带来
space,
无
for
比的快
example,
乐
doesn't suffer.
跟利益。
So this is how we then bring
这也就是
benefit
我们
to
本尊如何
others.
利益众生
Once
的方
the
式。
ice has melted and ripened
当他们
into
这个
water. So
冰块
the
融
ocean
化
and
而
the
且成
sky,
熟
therefore,
的话，
also are examples of
透过菩提
bodhicitta,
心，
the ultimate bodhicitta. So
这
then
就
in
是
case
就
of
近的
first,
菩提心。
visualize Hong,
一开始
meditate
我们
just
先
on the Hong syllable.
观想
And the
哄
Hong
字，
syllable purifies
然后
the visualization
我
purifies the
们净
karmic
化我
imprint
身
of the
体的
body. So
印
you
记的
visualize
一
the
些
Hong
业，
and later, when I ask you to open your eyes, then
等一下，当我
look
叫
at the
你
image
把
of
眼
the
睛张开
deity
的时候，
Vajrapani and
你可以
recognize
看着
this
金
is
刚手菩萨的
Vajrapani.
形
And you
象，
do this whichever empowerment you receive, whether it's of a peaceful
不
or
论你
lustful
接受什么
deity.
样的灌
So
顶
in the
呢，你都可以
empowerment
用这样的
you
形式
recognize the deity, and that
来
then
体
becomes the
认这个
yidam
本
that
尊。
you practice continuously. And the
那
yidam
首
appears
先
like
观
a
想
rainbow in the
本尊
sky. There's
如
also
同
this
雨这样
refuge
在
to the
面前降
yidam
下。
or the Sambhogakaya, where we say, I take refuge or pay homage to the clear nature, the
我
clear
们内心
Sambhogakaya
想
nature
起
of
就
the
是我
mind,
们
the
的
rainbow-like
皈
nature
依
of the
清
mind.
明的报身的
So the
本
mind
质。
then appears like a rainbow.
那
You forget about your ordinary physical material body. The
我
physical
们去忘
material
掉自
body
己
is
的
the
身体。
basis for all suffering and pain and sickness.
萨迦班知道
Sakya
过去曾
Pandita
说，
also said that in the
这
ocean
个
of
轮
samsaric
回如海
suffering,
轮回的
so
痛
if
苦，
the ocean of suffering would take on a vessel, it's the vessel of a body. So
那
in
都是
from that
有以身体
perspective,
为船
from
的
the
才
from
来
the
的。
perspective of samsara, the
那身
body
体
is
是我
one's
们最
greatest
大的
enemy,
敌
and
人。
therefore a sensible, a wise
那当一
person
个有常识的
renounces
人呢，
it. A person with great merit renounces it.
那有或者是
So
有一个有
the
大功的人，就会
body
舍弃
is
我
the
们的身，
aggregates or the
对身的
aggregate
执
sense
着。
sources and the elements. And when you visualize
那
yourself
不
in
管我
the
们
form
身
of
体的
the
各运，
deity, then the concept of self and
那
other
么我们对
will
自他对
diminish,
立的这种
and you
执着的这种
ripen,
概念就会
eventually
消
ripen
亡。
as the nirmana sambhogakaya. And so
那我们的
otherwise,
身体
if
也就
we
成熟，变
continue,
成这个
that's the purpose
本
of
尊的报
visualizing the
身。
deity, because if we continue to see
但
our
是如
body
果
in
我
its
们如
ordinary
果继续
form,
把我们的身体看为
then
凡夫身，
it is because of this body. So the body can become the pure form of the deity. But
那
on
我
the
们
other
身体
hand,
也可以
because
变成
when
这
we are in
个
the
本
samsaric
尊纯
state,
净
the
之
body
身。
is our greatest enemy, because
那
it
再
is because
是
of this
相对
body
的，如果
that
再从
we
轮回的角
experience
度来讲，我
suffering
们
and
身体是
pain
我们最
and
大的敌
sickness.
人。
And so when we
所
identify
以
the
当我们
deity
跟本尊
and
认同
the
本尊的时候，
Sambhogakaya, the rainbow-like form of the deity,
那
through
本
the
尊如
empowerment,
彩
you
虹
close your
般的
eyes, you look at the deity, you
身体。
recognize the deity, and you recognize I
那你
can
看着
become
本尊
that
形
if
象
I
的知道
practice
说，
it.
我可以
You
变
can
成那样
transform
子。
into that. If you visualize the rainbow-like form of the deity, you become a
那
rainbow
我们
body.
看着本
If
尊
you
如彩
habituate
虹般
to
的身
it.
体，变成彩
So
虹
it
身。
begins with the home. You just focus
那
on the
一开
simple
始就
home.
是
You
专
close your
注在
eyes
控制、
and
禅
meditate
修
on the
控
home.
制。
And then when I ask you to open your eyes,
当我
then
请
at
你
once
把眼
look
睛
at
张
the
开的
image
时候，
of the
你就
deity
专注的看
Vajrapani.
着本尊像
And。then later, when you do the practice
那
on your own
未来你要
practice,
自己
the
修法的时
generation
候，
stage, just continue to repeat this over and over
就
again.
这样反复的这
And
个
you
过
close your
程，
eyes and visualize the
观
rainbow-like
想
form of
本
the
尊如
deity
彩虹
in
般
an
的形象。
in an instance. And
那
so
在一
then
刹那间就
gradually
观
the
出这个
imprints
本
of
尊的彩虹般
fixate
的
on the
报
true
身形
the
象。
true reality of your body will diminish, and
如
your
果这样
body
这样
then
反
later
复的
in
传
the
习，我们对
bardo
身体的执着
will
会慢慢消
ripen
失。
or attain
那
enlightenment,
将
will
来
attain
在中阴
enlightenment
的阶
into
段，
the nature of the
能够得到
Sambhogakaya.
证悟，而得到报身成就。
로마는 그 제가 상을 닫고 정본들이 꿈도 나고 예도 제정정 용도 같은 저기 등등 어떤 등등 도지 잡았는 봐 드라마를 말이죠 로 제제지만 딱 봐잖아 예, 용감대. 아까 봐도 전화 진이 시제 멤버 원로는 요 앞에 다가 온거만 봐. 아마 보니까 홍보부터 해서는 어쩌면 이 시즌부터 돈이 더 버튼 손에 도시는 카와 뽑아서 버치라는 저도 봐도 이제 홍보도 매장잖아. 아베게
And open your eyes and look at the image of Vajrapanim or look at the tanka. And then again, repeat that. You open your eyes and again you close your eyes and then you have the deity appear in your mind. So this is how you practice when you practice on your own. And if you practice in this way, then eventually the deity will appear in your mind at least as first a vague image in the mind. And also it may appear if you develop single-pointed faith, devotion to the deity. And so when the deity appears, then recognize that it is not anywhere outside of yourself. It's the appearance of your own mind, within your own mind. Your own mind is like a mirror. Anything can be reflected in it. And so when you look at the image and then you close your eyes and then it appears in your mind, it's like you're taking a picture. So your eyes become like a camera, and then the image of the deity appears in your mind. And so when the deity appears in your mind, then the concept of your own body, you will forget about your own body physically. And so that is the most important point about the generation stage. So this is the form empowerment. So also when you receive empowerment, you should
当你在接受灌顶的时候，
so there are as many empowerment deities as there are sentient beings.
那灌顶本尊的数量多如众生的数目。
empowerment into the crowns of all sentient beings, so not just yourself.
那我们了解到这个本尊的加持是在所有众生的头顶，并不只是我们是头顶。那就有无量无数的这个本尊如雨降下，融入一切法界里面一切众生的身上。那所以你不用讲说我没有我的头顶没有直接被宝瓶碰到，没有得到加持。我们主要就是如虚空的法身本质得到这个加持。
like the Nirvana Kaya, and then they those blessings actually permeate everywhere, the entire universe,
他们的加持就像下雨降下。
Being thus initiated to karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the body, and all grasping at them are purified, and you
得
have
此灌
received the
顶，
complete
一切
full
由身所
empowerment.
累积的
You are
染
now
污与
empowered
执
to
着
practice
习
the
气，皆
generation
得清
stage
净。
of
一切身
visualizing
之
your
灌顶
body
已受
as
以
the
不可
deity,
观修
the
自
union
身
of
为色
appearance and
空不二之
emptiness.
本尊
As a， result,
并获
you
得
have
化
you will
身
have the
成就
fortune to
之加
accomplish
持。
the Nirvana Kaya. ，There's this imprint of the body, the physical
对身
imprint
的
is
这个印记
purifying, and so it's
要
this imprint.
净化。
Imprint means that there is this habitual perception,
所谓的
thinking
印
that
记就是我们
this material
串
body of
习，
mine, that's real, that's me.
我们
And of course,
一直认为说
it
那
is
就是实
there,
有
you
的，
have
那
this
就是我。
body, and you experience suffering and pain, illness in this body.
那我们
But
身体
then
接
it's
受
not
的一
just
种
this
病
body
痛的时
actually.
候
You， can see that, for example, when you dream, you
除
still
除了
have
身
those
体之外呢， 我
imprints.
们在做
So
梦的时候
in the
还有这
dream, you
种
have a dream body,
印的串
and
习，
that dream body experiences
所以
all
我们
kinds
身
of
体
suffering
的
and pain.
睡梦
And
的
it's
身
very
体也有这
similar
种
to
经验，
when you die later. When you
所以
die,
很
you will leave
在
this
我们死
material
亡的时候
body
也是很类似
behind.
的。
And
当
just
我
like in
们
your
离
dream,
开
you
这
will
个
bring
肉
this
身了，
imprint of your body with you,
但是我
and
们
you will
还
continue to
带着这
experience
个
similar kinds
肉
of
体的
suffering
这个
because you
印
have
记
this
着，
imprint of the body. And therefore,
因
if
为
you
我们
practice
内
the
心的这个
deity,
印记还
you
在，
you are transforming this imprint into the
所以我
perception
们
of
在修
the
本尊
form
的
of
时
the
候，
deity.
我
So
们把
you're
我们对
actually,
肉身的这
by
种印
doing
记
that, you
转
are
化成这
separating
个本尊。
yourself from your body.
在这样子
Even though
做
you
的时候，
still
我们就
have
把
this
我们
body,
跟我们的肉体
you
分
know
开
that
了。
that's not me.
我们
And
知道说
that
这
is
个肉
because the
体并
deity
不
is
是真
always
正
in
的
your
我。
mind. And when
那我们
the
心中
rainbow-like
时时有
form
本
of the
尊，
deity is always present, that is when you have
那
actually
本尊时
attained
时刻刻
freedom
在我
of
们
the
心中
body.
出现。
And
那这就
so
是我们
that's
在可以得
the
到
meaning
身
of
体
this
方面的
empowerment.
自
So when you
由
really
了。
think about
透过这
the
个
meaning of
灌
each of
顶
these
呢，
empowerments, if you
我们能
understand
够
their
去
meaning, the benefits of that are just incredible. So just by knowing the purpose, the meaning of this empowerment, that itself is extremely powerful.
那能够有这样理解是非常具有威力的一种理解。
多劫，人巴，公所所，大内，罗拉，陪同者，马吉，万个，一西切，木者，对吧？拉索。
Vajra holder,
金刚持者，
please heal
垂
me
念我，
for the
为
benefit
利
of
有情
beings.
故，
Please
请赐
grant
予
me
圆
the
满
great
一切成
wisdom
就，
of the
直
mantra
大智
empowerment,
咒灌顶。
which is the source of all accomplishment. So that's the speech empowerment.
这就是与灌顶的祈请文。
对呢，说不到像那啥说不就到杭州生活的，一般人慢慢就了，你就是杭州生活的这把送，去生活的就把最下的从其他东西下的小，你跟杭州生活的就把说吃了这就把他妈就没办法就，我的记得都。 这里俺真知道没把的，说不会下来从呢，这俺的几头钱不搞的，人让个下的少，没把样得嘞，人让没把这了这里，啷个看呢？有的七八的，把我的这里，所以让俺几头钱吧，的，让在这里让个放给他了，人俺的有的这都俺的钱别把快回我上，这都俺个费用这里，的俺了抓紧。 자동 뒤뒤 박차대 요래 변 책적 시험에 들이 책되게 이거 시험 때 차도래 모두가 시험에서 라산 고소를 뭐들이 그래서 책을 받쳐 버리 그러니 밤에가 들이 좀 막다 왜 쫙쫙 동제 데이터들이 내가 찍고 말이 좋아가냐 그러면 말 다가세 용을 했더니 그래서 샘도 파자마 소리면 저 좋아가는 자꾸 야올 말이
So for the mantra empowerment or the speech empowerment, the visualization is that so you visualize. There's two parts to the visualization. One is that from the Vajra master's mouth emerges the mantra garland. And as you repeat the mantra, think that the garland then enters your mouth and then goes down to the syllable home in your heart. And then the second part is that you also think that from space, a rain shower of these syllables, of mantra syllables, descend down. And as you then repeat the mantra, think that you have received the mantra garland, which then begins to circle around the Hung syllable. So then think that now the mantra circle is always there and it always circles around the Hung. And so what's the benefit of the mantra or the mantra recitation? So there are these imprints that we have. They're called the imprints of grasping, like thoughts that grasp at like we grasp at the conflation of thoughts and the actual object. So we kind of conflate the object that we see in our thoughts about them. And so, for example, when somebody says something to you, somebody says something nice to you, and immediately you're very happy and you're attached to that. And when somebody says something negative to you, then immediately you get really angry about it. So this is how powerful words are. And so they affect us negatively. And when you recite the mantra, through mantra, you realize the empty nature of sound. And then no matter how much anyone says or what anyone says, it will just not generate a feeling in you at all, no matter what is being said. Nothing will affect you in one or the other way. And so that is the power of the mantra recitation. It purifies this imprint of speech. So there is no more grasping at sound or speech that you perceive. That is the mantra empowerment.
这个就是咒语的灌顶。后边再配刚刚上师重复了3次，就是这个本尊的咒语。
别的意思那位，俺个过年是不吃嘛，把钱在地上去把他，所以意思那我们里把他，俺来是俺查东从就是把他完了完，这不弄个这不干把记得谁把也弄的。
Being thus initiated, the karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with speech and all grasping them are purified, and you have received the complete speech empowerment. You are now empowered to recite the deity secret mantra, the union of sound and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Sambhogakaya.
本尊深空不二之密咒，并获得成就报身之加持。
dat doen die dingen toch wel niet maar zeggen. Niet willen, ja, maar niet willen dan. Die zeggen bij zeggen, soms aan niet dan, misschien zijn maar toren. Zeggen die wat je moet. Dat dan men zien maar dat hebben ze toren. De wat is zeggen, de wat is maar toren hoor. Dat heb je maar daar maar eten, ja. Toch maar niet eten, de men zien dat men zien maar. Dat is maar mee, maar is dat zo. Je zou wat jang, smaakt niet dom, dat is je kan daar met zien wat.
So we said here that the defilements of speech and all the grasping become purified through the speech empowerment. And so also that is this, it purifies these thoughts clinging to the conflation of thoughts and the true actual object. And so, as we said before, it is, for example, when you hear something nice, you become attached, and when it's unpleasant, you feel angry. And so, all of these fixations, this grasping in the mind, must become purified. So it is said that completely let go of all mental grasping at sound. And when a grasping thought appears, recognize it's all impermanent, it's all empty, and I don't grasp at it. So if you don't grasp at sound, not grasping at sound is the samaya of mantra, of the speech empowerment. So through this empowerment, we have purified all previously accumulated fixation to speech, and also we prevent them from arising in the future. So do not grasp at sound.
所以我们不要去执着音声。
라강 나오는데 꼬라를 해줬는데 만사야 이자오나 라사야 이자들이 살펴보고요. 대그들이 정강 성공만 주반부도나 대탐색의 주반부도요. 걔네들도 드라마티라 하거든요. 제오만의 입장에서 심지 탐색을 뒤잡을 때다. 심지 탐색을 때니 아다 로마로서 와다 예쁘도 변을 보상jo는 노벨은 나남이 저도 심지 고명이 송등에 쌓고요. 다른 것도 좀 제송 들이 소소 내랑들로 제시도 10만 바 생각 사마등이지 바다 집에 1000만 바잖아 这哪个就走了过了，在这边了，常见人就军没去，甚至都军没去，大了我都军没去。军没去发生的就等等的上就对着满中民就是我是没去，시간 뭐 줄여서 말이 대회에서 나코를 총총대 나게 사타마르데 수남사파 탑다디 제발지래 대서 소개한다 무슨 나다만 돈은 맛이 받을 영화에서 개발할 거들 때 무슨 저도 달랑칼 총총대 맛이 받을 여기 들이대대 하얀 변종 제보 저들 르른 잡반신들이 야로 라고 매고를 야라들이 나가 병원 참만 달린 요거요 니 병원이시나 라고 총총대 대회들이 참만하고 공당 인된다고 저 가사가라 라고 소다 잡대 예 참만하고 총총대 내가 루라는 별 창나 들이다 송화친 보라고 라프엔즈만 매가 통는 뭐든지 손을 못 송으리 그래서 병원 순남사부 탑 체발기 들이 주보로 홍담당 라라라고디 라게 깔레 마고산에 들이 순남사부 탑 신기의 페베 탑 라게 순남사부 탑을
And for the mantra garland, it is explained that there are 9 major benefits, but for us 3 are most important, and that is to recognize that the mantra is the deity, and secondly, the mantra is an offering, and third, the mantra purifies the obscurations of sentient beings. So regarding the first one, the mantra is the deity, for example, within this little prayer wheel, many deities, as many mantras as there are, that many deities are contained. And with each rotation of that prayer wheel, all of these deities emanate outward. So for example, say the wheel is filled with 4 million money mantras, then with each rotation, 4 million deities go outside and they go, for example, to the Pure Lands, or if you want to make offerings to the Buddhas in the Pure Lands, then they go to the Pure Lands. So then an infinite number of Tara and Shrizik go there to make offerings. And if you want to benefit sentient beings, then these deities pervade all the sentient beings in the 6 realms. And for example, this prayer wheel is filled with Tara, and Tara then fulfills all the wishes of sentient beings. It is said in this prayer, she brings the benefits of the Tara supplications. She brings a child to those who want a child, and wealth to those who want wealth, and protects from suffering and untimely death, and so on. And so then also spinning a prayer wheel, which is actually the meaning is the same as the mantra garland, also leads to the attainment of siddhis for yourself. So the spinning of the prayer wheel is an endless accumulation of attainment or siddhi for yourself. So for example, you can take a commitment thinking that I will spin a small prayer wheel for the rest of my life. And in this way, that becomes your support to attain siddhis. And by spinning a prayer wheel, all of the qualities of the mantra garland are accomplished. So by spinning the prayer wheel, you make offerings to the Buddhas, and so there is this 3 continuations, and that were spoken by Guru Rinpoche. And they said that the first one is the mantra becomes a continuous offering to all the Buddhas. Secondly, it becomes a continuous purification of sentient beings' obscurations. And third, it becomes a continuous attainment of siddhis, your own siddhis. And so then Guru Rinpoche said that the benefits of mantra will never cease to be, and they have never ceased to be. They've never kind of gone down, and they never will. So the power of mantra will always emerge, will always rise. So The power of mantra is accomplished by spinning this little prayer wheel, for example.
所以我们这个心的这个力量的成就，也可以透过摇转经轮得到成就
So also
圆满。
in our opening prayer,
在我们开始的这个
it says, "I will practice virtue until I die, for as long as I live." And
我们一开始要这样子，直至进行受的道理就是在这里。在我们在死亡之前继续的来修行，继续的来摇着转经轮等等。那比如说在你们
above your pillow. And then your awareness always
在你白天在摇转经轮，或者是晚上睡觉的时候，可以把它放在枕头上，
so all the benefits of the
这样对
mantra
你
also
做梦
are
也有帮
accomplished
助。
through the prayer wheel. And that's also why I'm encouraging
所以我
everyone
们
to
持咒的功
spin the
德
prayer wheel,
都
and
可以
that's
在
also
这
why
个
I'm
转经轮上
encouraging
面得到
disciples
圆满。
to
这就
produce
是为
them.
什
There
么
are
我
many different
这
workshops
个
that
鼓励
produce them
大
all over the
家
world
在
right now.
尽量用转经轮，
has so many benefits.
因
Or
为
for
它
example,
摇
if
转经
someone
轮有
has
这
a
么
prayer
多的
wheel
功德
on
利
them,
益。
also it is said that whoever only sees their prayer
所以
wheel
我
will
们
not
讲
be
说，即
born
使任何
in
众
the
生，只要
lower
他们见
realms.
到转经
So
轮，
there's
就不
so
会
many
可以不受生
inconceivable
到三恶道
benefits,
当
and
中。
it's such a great merit to
这个
spin
是
a
多
prayer
大的
wheel.
这个功德啊！
So the
有这
prayer
么
wheel
好的
and
利益。
the visualization of the hung, which is also why
那
we print the hung
也可以
everywhere, like on the clothes, on the
对
t-shirts
种
and
子
so
智我
on.
们来
So
观想
these are
控
actually
制，
methods
就是
to
为什么要
accumulate
印很
great
多红
merit
字
with
的
the
卡
least
片。
difficulty, and quite easily. And
这
so
个
it's
是
a
很容
great
易
way
就
to
可以得到
accumulate
很大
merit,
的
and
这个
also
功
it's
德
a great
的
way to
利益
benefit
的，
sentient beings.
不但是对利益自己，也可以利益一切众生。
못하는 무공가요래 무공가요나들이 나랑 걸어송네 못하는 나서는들이 겁나지는 뒤로 못했다 삼해봐 날려랬대 차송데 무공가를 그냥 송마도 뭐 세면 갈 때도 뭐 랑코르도 송대도 나 못한 뒤서 지서 빙고도 랑코르 송대도 왜 대다 왜 문이치는 제 체들은 대다 왜 좀들이 제 소망한테 사지에 까는지 랑코르 통정도 뺏어납 뭐 너를 죄인이고 그래. 남망을 죄인을 가려 새로 죄디 이 샘디다 샘디 되는 적을 빼는 드리다라는 게 라코데 평 때리에 이런 뭐 나로서 소자비오래 드리대에 드리 주로 던질래 내가 그 라코 청송도 같이 뭐래 조요래.
And so regarding the benefits of having this small prayer wheel, I'm saying that because I have a personal experience. It's my own personal
那有
experience.
关于
Of
转
course,
经
it's
轮
also
摇
the
转
words
经
of
轮
the
的功
Buddha,
德力，
but
我本
it's
身有
also
很多
my
的
own
经
personal
验。
experience. For example, I always have this small prayer wheel on me, on my body. I never separate
我
from
在
it.
我
And
永
therefore,
远在身上有转
even
经轮，
at night when I dream
即使
of
晚上我在
the
睡
prayer
觉的
wheel.
时候，我也
Or
会
for
梦到
example, in the
转经轮。
past, some years ago, when I was back in Tibet, we were
有几
going on
年
a
前，当
car
我在
ride.
西藏
There
的
were
时候，
5
我
of
们
us in the
在
car,
车上，
and we had an accident, and the
那我们有
car
发生了意外。
flipped over and was completely flat. It was totaled. There was
那
nothing
我
much
们
left of the
的
car.
车子
And
翻滚了好多圈，
nothing
基
at
本
all
上是完
happened
全毁坏
to
的。
any of the 5 passengers in the car, all
但
of
是
us.
车上的5个乘
So
客并没有
when
发
the
生什么
accident
样的损
happened,
伤。
what happened in my mind? What did I think during the
那
accident?
在这个事情发
Actually, I
生
don't
的
even
时候，我
remember
心里
what I
在
was
想
thinking.
什
All
么
I
呢？
was thinking is the wheel, the prayer wheel. I just didn't want
我
anything
所
to
想
happen to
到
it, so
的
I held on to it.
只
But I
想
don't
到
really
我的
remember the
转经
car
轮不
accident
想要这
itself.
个
And
转经轮受到
that
损
really was
伤。
a sign that that really protected our lives. And
那
then if
这个
it
念头
protects
事
us
实
in
上
such
也
a
就保
way,
护了我
even
们
in
的
this
生命。
life, then clearly it will be a great protection for future lives.
那
So
如果
it
在
is also
此
the
世他
word
给
of
我
the
们带来
Buddha,
这样大
and
的保护，
so
但
you can
很
see
明
the
显的，
prayer
在
wheel
来
has so
世也
many
可以
great
带给我们很
blessings.
多的保护。
So in brief,
所以简
the
而言
reason
之，
also why we spin a prayer wheel is because
我们为什么
then the
要摇
mind
转经
is
轮？
always there. The mind is
我们的
always
心都
focused. And whatever the mind
专注在
thinks
这个
of,
转
this
经
is
轮
what
上。
the mind will become.
当我们心所想的，我们就变成那样子。所以，那我在车祸的当下，我只想到整经轮。所以在这样子无形中保护的这个车上的5个乘客，这就是为什么我摇一个小的准经轮，有很大的功德利益的。
道界、人巴、公厕所、大内、罗兰、平东者、把握、道界、六风机、龙桥、定人、记者所。
And then for the mind empowerment, please repeat. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Courageous Vajra master,
金刚持者垂念我，为利有情故，勇猛金刚上师，请令殊胜意至三摩地升起。
把我多接受不接受，他真没吃错了。万个会有的，俺多接受不热的，你呢？就是俺主要是想把我白的，是吧？俺都把我引走了，把的把我的心宽了，这些没话还好有的，心宽了，这些没话还好那这里，家人没这个样，来就这干什么的，就这大家人把的那下人有的，给完了给完那嘛，他不行干，没给完那么你个上身，下人的来就这的搞这钱的上面的，把我心宽了，这些没那样。就这搞的钱之后，俺得管谁个东西。
So, in that supplication, we supplicated the courageous Vajra Master. So, I'm today your Vajra Master conferring you the empowerment.
我今天我是你们的这个金刚上师，给予你们这个灌顶。
You wanna ask me? So, are you really brave? Are you really courageous?
那或许你会问，你真的很勇敢的吗？很有勇气吗？
I'm really brave. I'm really
我
courageous
是很勇敢的，
I know that the mind does not die and it's not
我
born.
知道心是不死
And
的，
therefore, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm fearless. And yet,
因此我
even
对这
though
一
I'm
点呢，我
fearless,
是
I
无畏的。
consider karma extremely carefully because I know
同
because
时
the
我也
mind
知道
cannot
我
die,
对
that
业非常
the
的小心，
karmic
所以
visions
因为我
will
知道我的
continue
心是不
to
死的，
manifest
所以
in
这
the
个业
bardo.
会继续
So if
在
there are
中阴
virtuous
中
imprints in my
显
mind,
现。
then the Pure Lands
如
will
果我们的
manifest,
心中
and if the
有
imprints are
任何的印
negative,
记，
then the lower realms will manifest.
那如果
So
我们的
what makes me
内心的印
fearless
记是
or
净土，我们
courageous
这个
and
往
brave
生
is
净土。
that
如果我们有其
while
他
I
这个
have
烦恼的印记，
recognized
有可能
that the
受损
mind
到
is
三恶道
beyond
当中。
birth and death,
我们要
actually
知道我
the
们的业是超
recognition
越生死
in
的。
that, the recognition of the deathless mind
我们
made
要知道我们
my
无始之心，
my conscientiousness and my kind of care, my
让我
attention
非
toward
常的
karma
小
even
心，
more careful.
小心的面
So
对这
what
个
I'm
业。
afraid of, there's one thing I'm afraid of,
我
and that is
有一
evil,
件事情
negative
是很担
actions.
心，那就不要去做。
내 좀 밥을 보아서 내가 사랑도 나간도 사고 성태자 잡아서 받아야 가죠. 로마 가서 벌렁아 있으면 또 로마 령아 있어도 라파산도 저 고동도 예미데 저 밤에나 우놈지가 다 뜨는지는 냐마 좋은도 예 그린 남간이 바이크 동동과 아마리 차등 차바바는 이 보여드리 심진 차그럼 따와대 현들이 잡지처럼 예미바 차서 항상 이때 전에 고도라더니 이렇게 그저께라더니 남번 조선 돈이 아주 내로만 줘 거래 니까니 죽지 모르는데 말을 듣는 나타 상마제 받을 영화에서 개발을 거지는 그 상통도 다 왔딩은 전에 고냐 되리 상마 뒤에 바로 공부 요사 내가 다 통제 나도 다 생긴 거야 그래서 저 사제 담지는 냠도 진냠자 타고요 다자거든요 언니가 요로지
So now you've so visualize that from space, white on, red on, blue hung syllables have they descended down, like rain falling down, and have permeated, dissolved into all sentient beings and melted their ice block like mind, and they have become indivisible from the ocean like Buddha mind. So then now next at this point we meditate in this ocean like vast state of Buddha mind. So if you know how to practice shamatha, calm abiding, in an instant, place yourself in this full state of meditation and just settle in the natural state. And then now we just practice this one time, but you should practice this each and every day. And so this develops into what we call the view of vipassana. So through shamatha, you are sustaining the view of vipassana. And until you attain enlightenment. So you practice this until you attain enlightenment. So now we practice this one time and then you continue it on a regular daily basis. And so when you hear this sound of the gong, then think that all thoughts disappear and rest within this thought-free state, which is the meditative state of all the Buddhas of the three times. So you're going into this meditative state of all the Buddha's mind. So now when you hear the gong sound, then place your mind at once into the state of emptiness.
磬的声音的时候，马上进入这个无念的状态当中。
근데도 맞추는데 말아야 올라가마다 하면 이제 저번에 어제 저랑 뭐 사실 다 빠져졌는데 이제 되게 다시 써봐도 예보도 왜 打这个各种图案，各种图，各啥东杂东，土啥东西，这个种图案，多么是不是哈过了？这个王座，这个王座谈这个种是吧了？这里咋谈这，拉比较说的这个王谈这个是吧？伊那个谈这王人谈这个嘛我有的，也是叫送考过有的，没推上。你咋个谈这这咋？让人觉得你不上班的年纪啊，马上不会把人这曾经他们这里觉得，现在我们这里上班的年纪，这他们就讲我嘛的，大的生意啦，说话啦这里，那个不但从我这里上这有的，别知道上这里上就是我的，这刚来了这里，学堂王的嘛说话这里，一进就王的嘛叫这切了当忙动。这个马上夸张那边甚至他们这讲了这样有话，这到甚至他们把这话这叫有嘛的上，你怎么觉得这还好说的？哪里面甚至他们就看有嘛的，那个到的，你多当个多年，挂什么多年，这到到这让我们到松上，你这我了这里，来人差了多些这里，这多年到这里是差价就大的。差不多就我就把它躲进仓库了那种，这个躲这里，躲了的到这个出去还轰的，轰的过呢，你这里，身那多一都没把它你差的有的，身那多他这到找的下过了这里，他在这边躲了这里，这样没身老子去了，身那多他这到找个干的了，这让我去说，我这身份年，这让的，大把个这里啊，变成我倒不差有的，这种没办的，到这种找啊，那个这种人有咋接的没办有的，我对这种人民就在那做三足生的那各种三足生，搞起来的上班的年纪，搞起来的，这个20年了，有的这人那这种的，真的，所叫那有关。상제당 상촉 선바 탐제다라 공소설 로뼈다라 공소설 나든지 송대 제시 상촉 닝보라 지켜봐도 라사나 도지 이 남자 활동생 대여성아 니네 저도 전에서 나와죠.
So we have received the 3 levels of empowerment.
我们已经得到了3层的灌
So
顶。
that is the essence of these 3 empowerments is
这3个层的灌顶的
empty
精要呢
appearances for form, empty sounds for speech, and empty mind
空有
for
不
mind.
二，闲有不
Clear
二
and，empty
因空不二。
And then lastly, we come to the samaya of the
最后
empowerment,
得
which is
到
the
了
life
我们
force
的
of
三
the
昧耶的部
empowerment.
分。
And as we said before, 100 deities have a
如
single
同
root
之前讲的
samaya. And of
100
course,
个
each
这个
deity,
灌
each
顶，
empowerment has their
也
own
同样的一个三
individual
昧耶。
branch samaya. But it's very difficult for us to keep, for anyone really, to keep all of these branch samayas.
很
What
多的
is
这个枝节
essential
枝
for
干的
us
三昧
is
耶，
to,
对我们来讲是
what we
很难持守
definitely
的。
must keep is the root
但是有
samaya.
一个我们必
And
须
the
要
root
持守的，就
samaya
是根本的
is
三昧
love
耶。
and compassion.
所谓的根本
For
三昧
all
就是
sentient
慈心
beings,
跟悲
just
心，
like a mother loves her child.
就好像
And
一个
every
母亲
sentient being
慈爱她
has
的
that
子女一
potential
般。
actually because they have a mind. Whoever has a mind has love and has compassion, at least to some extent.
慈爱
For
心的
example,
人呢，每一个
even
人都有这个潜力，
a
只要有
lion
心，
or a
会有慈爱
tiger,
心。即使
they
是一个
have
狮子或者
love
老虎，
for
他们也
their
有慈爱心的。
offspring or for their
他对于他们
companions.
的子女、他们的
And
后代、对于
the
他们的伴侣
essence
都
of
是有
that
慈爱
love,
心的。
essentially,
这
it
个
is
的
really
本质是来
bodhicitta.
自于慈爱
So
心，也
therefore,
就是菩
do
提
not
心。
allow it to
所以不让
become destroyed by anger or
我
by any other
的慈爱
emotion.
心跟菩提心被
And
我们的嗔恨心所
cultivate
摧
it
毁，
each and
或
every
其他的
day,
烦恼所
make it
摧毁。
stronger
我们要
and
每天
stronger.
来反
And
复的
start
长
with the love that you feel for someone that you love the most, and then think that every sentient being has been such a one. And when you become free of self-grasp, you realize that, and through love you become free of self-grasping, you realize that you are actually never separate from sentient beings. We are all just like space. So finally, it leads to an actual experience of emptiness on the ultimate level. For now, it is an understanding of emptiness. And so, in any case, think that I must not transgress this root samaya. And that is the samaya of the mind, which is significant because Vajrapani is a deity of the mind, of the Buddha's mind. And therefore, he also represents the view or the state of Mahamudra. Vajrapani and also Vajradhara or Jakasambhara and so forth. And to summarize it all the samaya into one, it is to meditate on the home. If you just meditate on the home, then naturally there will be no thought in your mind. And naturally you rest in the natural state of your mind. And regarding that, it is said in the Mahamudra teachings, without a single thought, decisively look at your true nature. So when you are in a state of no thought, look at your mind in this moment, the natural state of your mind. And that is what is called the view. The view is the knowing of your true nature without any doubts. So the view is to be free of any doubts. And so that is what needs to be recognized, and then it needs to be habituated on an ongoing basis. And it is habituated if you cultivate bodhicitta. And of the two kinds of bodhicitta, the most important one for us is the relative bodhicitta. And that essentially is love and compassion. So now please repeat the samaya.
接下来，请大家来持守这个重复参满耶的誓言。
has their own samaya, as we will just repeat now. But whatever it says, what's most important is the root samaya, which is love and compassion. So then please repeat all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas residing in the 10 directions. Please heed me, Master.
十方诸佛菩萨垂念我，金刚上师垂念我，从今日直至获证菩提，我自己的名字是以尊圣的金刚手菩萨为本尊，每天尽力持诵其心咒。 殊胜菩提心要宝，未生起者愿生起，已生起者不退失，其愿辗转更增上。谢谢各位法友，祝各位法友长寿。
Dhamma friends are so happy
to see your
beautiful faces. And what we are seeing when we see each other on the screen, we are seeing our real self. We are really seeing us. So don't think it's not real because it's just a screen. But this is how we really see each other. And we hear our actual voice. And it's the real voice, it's the real body, because you can always see it, you can always hear it. It's beyond birth and death. You can always, again, listen to it and so on. The physical body, pay no attention to it. It's impermanent, it's not real.
不要认为说我们透过网络就不是一个真实的经验。谢谢仁波切，谢谢各位。现在应该是 Campbell 三度在讲话。之前有法友讲到说，可不可以给那个贡曼达的文跟那个七支供养？那我会分别发给燕芬师姐乙跟R师兄，他们可以在普贤云或者种种这个管道跟大家分享。那对于今天这个电脑的问题，再次跟各位道歉，也谢谢 Ben 师兄及时的这个来帮忙翻译。谢谢各位的这个僧团来加入我们这个法教。仁波切给我们一个非常重要的这个非常甚深的一个灌顶。
Thanks to Rinpoche or the Sangha's behalf, we really need the Vajrapana empowerment and the teaching for due to this in this time in the world.
在这个困难的世界上这么困难，我们真的很需要金刚手菩萨的灌顶，所以代表所有的这个僧团感谢仁波切。
And right now we have due to the disease.
由于我们的新冠肺炎在全世界这么严重，这个众生受到无比的痛苦，我们需要来净化我们这个业，净化我们的痛苦。所以我们才祈求这一个灌顶。谢谢上师，谢谢各位的僧团分子，各位法友。
Thank you, 杜杰切仁波切 ，Long life 仁波切。
谢谢仁波切，祝仁波切长寿。